Go here. See what we got in the room so far. Do. All right.
We should be live now.
Thank you, bro. And yeah, Tyree, like I said, man, we have our audience will, they engage with us the entire time. So
Okay.
they'll have questions for you, or if you want to address something that's said in there, feel free to do so. So we're gonna go live here in 2 seconds. Let me do this. All right. All right, here we go. Stop. Yep. Okay. Okay. Here we go. All right. All right. Here we go. Share screen. Let's pull this up. Got that. And here we go. What's up, everybody that's here already? Share screen, share sound. Yep. And yep. Hi, Barnett.
Ian Harris. The revolution is not afraid of pronouns.
The revolution is not afraid of real history.
The revolution is not brought to you by election deniers.
Hey man, some people are simply trash.
The revolution will not be brought to you by gerrymandered districts. 90% of our country doesn't have critical thinking skills. 50% of our country doesn't have empathy.
Ian Harris is good as fuck with numbers.
I refuse to stand for any flag or anthem that does not stand for me.
The revolution will not be brought to you by the letter Q or any other dumbass conspiracies.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new and I promise it won't be chaotic episode of Critical and Thinking Podcast. Ty Barnett, Ian Harris is here, but he's doing something right now. But I want to welcome a very special guest, and I want to give you guys a quick backstory. And you guys know this. We do our best to try to reach people with other platforms because they have voices as well. And I reached out to this young man right here because I saw his post initially about Black people, about us as Black people and the Black representation and participation in the Democratic Party. So I reached out to him initially and we cleared up a couple of things, but I want him to give his opinion and I want us to all try to find a collective road forward because this election is super important and we say it all the time. I want to welcome to the show Tyree Langston, who also has a platform he will tell you all about. Tyree, please introduce yourself to our audience.
How you doing? I'm Tyree Langston from theblackport.com. My website is like me. I'm just all about building community and, discussion. I'm very pro-Black, but I'm also pro-American too. I know Black Americans have every right to be both. So, whether you're right-wing, left-wing, old, young, you can go over to theblackport.com. You can participate in our discussion and, just go from there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And again, I want to thank you, bro, for coming through because, like I said, a lot of times what we found is that a lot of people don't want to speak publicly. They tend to just want to type, and I don't think anything really gets done that way. I miss old school conversations. And so welcome to everybody that's already in the room with us. What's up, Dylan, Tammy, Curtis? How you guys feeling? And so let's just jump right into it because initially what drew me to your post was your thoughts on us as Black people in the Democratic Party. Can you elaborate on that, and then we'll go into some more of the discussion?
Okay, so I would say I'm loosely Democrat. I grew up in a blue collar city. I'm from Flint, Michigan, and I've been voting since 1999, which was the Gore and Bush election.
Right.
So I think just over the years, man, I feel like I have the right to withdraw my vote because even though my ancestors fought for the vote, they also didn't fought for me to feel like I'm being played with. And all the things I've seen in my own lifetime from 99 until now is just can't call myself a Democrat. I don't feel right voting no more for the lesser of two evils. It's like there is a third choice. And I don't even advocate not voting, but if I'm speaking about how I feel, that's really how I feel now. Like there is a third choice.
Okay. I'm from Chicago, Southside, 73rd and Racine.
Okay.
So Midwest here too. And Ian, I don't know if you heard what Tyree just said, or you probably caught the tail end.
Yeah, sorry about the
Oh no, that's okay. It's okay. But I want to address what he just said, and I want you guys feel free, you guys, if you guys have any questions or comments for Tyree, please. He's here for the entire time. Please address him. I want to, and I understand the whole lesser of two evils narrative with certain things, but I don't think that that's what this election is about, because I think it's a very clear choice of what Biden brings to the table and has delivered versus what Trump represents. And
yeah, I would like to know what the, like, when people say that lesser of two evils, I don't know what's evil about Joe Biden.
right. But let me just say this to him, and then I want to get your feedback on this part here when because a lot of times we say we want people to deliver for us as Black people. You can't get our vote for free. You can't have our vote for free. And I remember asking you a few days ago if you knew the legislation that had been passed and the accomplishments of the Democratic Party for Black people. And you gave an honest answer, which is great, because a lot of people would just bullshit and they'd be like, yeah, I know, and I don't care. We had a dude on before, a Black dude, bro, and the dude honestly said he did not give a fuck about jobs. And I'm like, that makes no sense. It makes no sense. But I love that you were honest about it. You said you weren't aware of certain things. But so let me just tell you some of the things that this administration, Biden Harris, have done, and then you tell me if that qualifies as something that you see as not just the lesser of two evils, to what Ian's saying, but as something that is something that you can legit vote for. So you have the lowest unemployment rate in American history, especially for Black folks. This is the lowest Black unemployment history rate in the history of the country, the closest unemployment gap between Black and white people. This has never been this close in the history of the country. $7 billion given to HBCUs, investments in Black businesses, increased Pell Grants, the $35 insulin caps, which again is weird because it affects Black people a lot more because a lot more Black people are diabetic. So with that information, what would you say that you still feel like this is something that is the lesser of two evils? Is this new information to you, or do you feel like this is something that at least as a Black man with your Black platform is something that you can look at and say, okay, that's something tangible I can look at?
I would say it's not new to me. I didn't necessarily would say I attribute it to Biden, but like the insulin thing, how could you? And I'm diabetic, but how could you fight against that on either side? But
Right.
even with the,
They do though.
but even with like the jobs, I do love jobs, so I'm not saying that. But I do wonder, and this is what it comes to, like just being in the system altogether. How much are the jobs being doctored? And the reason I say that is because I know they talk about how long people have been out of the search, and then have you ever heard of ghost jobs?
No.
So I'm not really getting on Joe Biden about the job. Is it really as good as it say it is? And with ghost jobs, it's more about the jobs we see in our emails and the jobs we see on LinkedIn when we apply for them. Some of them are just jobs they put out there, and I do know that's a concept. Now, once again, I'm not hanging my hat on that.
Right.
But like I said, even with the lesser of two evils, I've never called Joe Biden evil. But when I told people, I don't really feel comfortable voting for Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, is they come up with the lesser of two evils.
Well, can I just a couple things? The ghost job stuff, I understand what you're saying. The thing is, though, the way the agencies that determine unemployment, the method that determines unemployment hasn't changed. So even if we say that's true, that there are jobs that aren't real jobs or whatever, then we can say that's always been the case. So when we compare 3.6% unemployment for 2 straight years, that includes those jobs, and it was 5% 10 years ago, it would also have included those. We haven't changed the way the metric on how we determine which jobs are there. So even if there are fake jobs and ghost jobs and all that sort of stuff, if that is there, those are still accounted for in the numbers and have always been accounted for in the numbers. So it's still better than than it has been in the past.
Right.
I mean, also I would say, look, I'm not a Black man, I'm not a Black woman, so I can't say that. But my personal thing, and this is just how I am, and again, I know I have the privilege to say this, but I think we all should say this. I almost never vote specifically on my what's right for me. I think we need to vote for what's right for everybody. And again, I know that's easy to say. It sounds like all lives matter, which it isn't. But what I'm trying to say is that we need to vote on what's right for everybody. And I can vote on what's better for the Black community because I know that's the right thing to vote on. I don't go, well, it doesn't affect me. I don't give a fuck what Black people are doing. I'm white. So I feel like we have this thing a lot where I hear people say, well, I'm a woman and therefore I'm only voting this way. And I'm like, I get where you want your, or I'm Black and I only vote, I want to see, what do they do for Black people? I think we also need to look at what do they do for all people and how does that affect everybody? And are they inclusive or are they exclusive? And when I look at like the right wing, they are exclusive. They exclude people. They try to vote against people's interests. When I look at the left wing parties, they're always trying to do the greater good for the most amount of people. All civil rights stuff has come from the left. All past religious freedoms have come from the left. All of the past speech, freedom of speech has come from the left, right? And I feel like we need to, I mean, when there's progress, I mean, that's why they're called progressives, because there's progress. I mean, if you want to talk about what Joe Biden has done for the Black community, if we want to narrow it down to personal, not for me, but for somebody else, he did not only, like Ty said, the things Ty said, but he appointed the very first Black female vice president, the very first Black female Supreme Court justice, first, you know, and I know female doesn't necessarily matter if you're Black male necessarily, but those things are important optics as well as they're just the right thing to do to get a demographic that is representative. But it's also optically the right thing to do. And on top of that, someone like Ketanji Brown Jackson is supremely qualified, but far more qualified than the freaking idiots.
Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett. Go ahead, Tyree. Go ahead, bro.
So I would say I don't take away from none of those things. Those all are great things. But like you said, the optics, though, it seems as if, and if, you know, this particular election, like Ty said, is important. But as someone, like I said, who has voted 6 times, the last 2 were very important. And to me personally, the Democrat didn't put nobody up there who was worth voting for. So.
Well, explain that last part.
Okay, I put it like this. If Hillary Clinton was the only person running for president, I would have not gotten up and voted for her. And not because she was that horrible. I just, you know, I don't have to pick someone just because of the fear factor, the fear of missing out. See, so like you said, the stuff that Joe Biden has done on the opticals, a lot of it is just optical. If you looked at what's been going on in the courts with CRT and DEI, that stuff happened in the courts. If you look at, but if you look at the Emmett Till bill or the George Floyd bill, it's been years and years and they haven't passed. But the Asian bill passed in like 2 months.
Well,
I mean, 5 months, I think.
The anti-lynching bill was signed, but also you mentioned the DEI stuff in courts. When you see who's striking down these rights, these affirmative action legislation that's been on the books for decades, when you see them taking, those are conservative judges taking those things away. Those conservative judges were appointed by Trump, and before that, other Republicans. So to me, when you're seeing the actions and the results of those people having power, and you're seeing just a small bit of it, you're seeing they roll back affirmative action, and that was based off a case from an Asian dude. Like an Asian dude said, hey, I think I'm being discriminated against. And they said, cool, we'll take Black people's rights away. Asian people, I mean, women are finding this out now. So those all came from conservative judges. So to me, when you see these things in courts, when you see people putting up the shiny object of CRT and DEI, it's all something to distract from, hey, look at what we're really trying to get done for white people. Like Ian said, the Republican Party and the right wing is exclusive. And when it's exclusive, it means they don't count us. They don't count us at all. And you can have your Byron Donalds and your what's the dude, Mushmouth guy, fucking You know, the guy I can't think of got 3% of the vote. The fuck is it? Ball guy. You know what I'm talking about? The fucking
He
Oz
only got
love you.
3%. Don't nobody know him.
You know the guy, the fucking the God damn it, I can't think of this dude's name.
Oh,
You know,
black guy, white guy?
black guy, bald, ran for president, dropped out because he only got 3% of the vote.
You talking about Scott?
Yes, Tim Scott. I don't know why the fuck I couldn't think of that dude's name. So you have those people that they do the shuck and jive and they do the dance for him. But when you look at the legislation, this is something that, like, again, they're rolling these things back and they keep throwing things out like, well, you know, we're anti-woke and we're this and that, which we all know at the end of the day, it still affects us as black and brown people. It still affects us as poor middle class people. So I think Uncle Tim, there you go. Thank you, Tammy. And by the way, you guys, if you guys have any questions or comments for Tyree, please address them now. But when you, in listening to what you're saying, and I get you don't want to be pressured to vote. No one wants that. But I think I'm having a hard time with people because this is a clear-cut case of this guy is better than this guy, and the legislation backs it up. This is not like just lip service. This is like jobs matter. Student loan debt matters. I'll give you a prime example. I've seen 2 examples of this in the last month, 2 or 3 months. Multiple example in the last month where people have gotten their student loan debt forgiven and their credit score goes up and they're able to apply for a home loan or a business loan at a better rate. All of that is a direct effect of the legislation by Biden and Harris. And you know, we as black people, we get the shit.
Right.
Shit. Like the people come at us like, oh, we want to make it harder for you. And these things have been put in place to help us. And I just don't understand why we aren't saying that's a good thing, or we aren't seeing that as beyond just the lesser of 2 evils.
Okay, I will give you that on the student loans. I have benefited a little bit from that. So once again, I'm not a Biden hater, but to me, it's just I know I'm kind of reiterating the same point, but it's just the 3rd time in a row. Like, so even like this conversation we're having now, I had this conversation in 2016 with some people. So me personally, as a black person, being that the Democrat Party takes our vote for advantage, I would like to make a statement, especially if you do feel like you're only voting against Trump, right? So if not this election, and I'm not saying it is, because it is very important, but if not this election, when? You know, you go from, go ahead.
I think, and this is not, don't take this as an insult or something, but I think this is a thing that we as Americans, maybe we in the world do, but we think it's going to be a quick fix. It took the Republicans 40 years after Reagan of appointing judges and doing and gerrymandering and doing all these tricky shit to completely fuck our system up. Took a long time. It's going to take a while to get it back. And the thing is that, yes, the reason that it was the most important election in our time, and then this one's our most important election in our time, is because right now the crises that we're dealing with aren't just, hey, we got to get, black unemployment, or we got to do, the crises are we might not be able to vote ever again and have a dictator if we let Trump in. So that's why this at this point is an existential crisis. But if you look at when Obama got in, Obama was good. He did a lot of things that he got in there and realized a lot of things he wanted to do, he couldn't do. Then people go, somebody campaigned on X, Y, and Z, and when they got in there, they do X, Y, and Z. They're liars, they're traitors, they're what? No, you don't know how it works. They get in there and they try to do it, and they realize, shit, I don't have the backing. This law takes a 60% Senate in the Senate, and I don't have it. This one, I do it, and we pass it, and then some judge that was appointed by Ronald Reagan gets to just throw it away. So there's so many things that, we got in Joe Biden in the first 2 years. He did a lot of stuff. The last year and a half, he hasn't been able to do shit because whoever these idiots are that voted for Biden and voted for the Democratic Congress, and then 2 years later, turned around and voted Republicans in. So I don't understand what we keep doing that. We keep doing this where we'll vote for a Democratic president, and on the same ballot, everyone votes for a Republican Congress. And it's like, well, how do you expect anything to get done if they won't fucking pass the bills? And then if we do have, which we did for 2 years, we had a Democratic House, Senate, and president, but we had 50. So we couldn't get any major legislation passed because it takes 60 in the Senate. And the Democrats are a little weak on not ending the filibuster, but I understand their concern. You win the filibuster and then you lose, guess what? That's how we got Supreme Courts because they just said, fuck our 60 vote.
I agree with you, right? As an American, but it's hard for it to not to just sound like, it's almost like being in a bad relationship. You've been abused for like 4 or 5 years, and then she go, I'm not gonna hit you this time. Just give me another year and I'm not gonna hit you. So I'm not downplaying the importance of it, but even with like Barack Obama, how is it that a Republican president and a Republican person can say what they'll do for black people quicker than a Democrat or a black president can?
When you say what they can say, what they'll do versus what they do.
Okay, so now I want you to check me all this. I'm bringing all this out of my memory, right? So just say when Obama was president, when the whole Trayvon Martin thing, he said, "Oh, my son might have looked like Trayvon." Everybody lost their mind, right?
Right.
Kamala Harris make it very clear, I'm everybody president, which he is, right? But Trump can go on TV and say, "I've done more for black people since Abraham Lincoln." And nobody, it's just a joke. And it's dumb, but a black person or a Democrat cannot even say what they'll do for black people or trying to do publicly.
Let me address it, because I understand your point, but I think when that type of thing happens, it falls back on us as a society being stupid or easily manipulated. And I'm saying that as a society. Because we've seen the fault. That dude, because I've often thought the same thing. I'm like, how can he say he's done this when you can look at his track record and see this? Like the guy that we had on before, this dude came on and said, well, Trump gave $255 million to black colleges. And Ian and I both checked them right away and said, first of all, Biden gave $7 billion. And also that 255 million was already in place from Obama. This is a black guy we're saying this to. And do you know, even though Ian and I both laid out the specifics of the shit you could go look up, that dude still said, what did he say, Ian? He said it doesn't matter.
He said it doesn't matter because Trump put his name on it.
So you see what I'm saying? So that's why certain things, and this is what I mean by us, we have to be diligent when it comes to the lip service versus the action. Like I see the $7 billion from Biden. I see the Pell Grants. I see the investment in black businesses. And it's good that you said what you said, because you saying that you personally benefited from the student loan debt forgiveness, that's good, because we can point to people and say, hey, Tyree benefited from this, just like we know people that benefited from other stuff. That stuff is tangible. And I think the combination of social media, the combination of sensationalism and reality TV has dumbed down our society as a whole to where we don't want to do the extra research. We don't want to
dumb it down, but it's also drawing in dumb people into smart conversation too.
Yes,
it was never supposed to be in the conversation,
bro. We say it all the time. That dude made dumb people feel smart as fuck, and this is why you have that problem that you just said of Republicans being able to say this with no action. Like we've been asking this how many years now? Name the legislation that Trump and Republicans created to help the poor and middle class, and no one has been able to answer it. Not a single.
Tammy said it's chaos fatigue, and that's literally what he does. He just keeps throwing shit out there until we get tired of it. He does crazy shit, and you rape enough people on public TV that eventually people don't care if you murder somebody. You know what I mean? It's like that's what it comes down. He throws all this crazy shit out there to where we just go, fuck it. And then you go, yeah, did you see that he just got found guilty of sexual assault? And then guys, well, everybody does that. What? No, everyone doesn't do that. Like, and so, yeah, we need to be smarter. We need to be better educated. But I'll say the other thing is this, I heard when we first started, I came in a little bit late, right? But about the third party thing, I keep explaining this to everybody. And I get why people want a third party. We have a third party. We have a fourth party. We have a fifth party. There's libertarians. There's Green Party. They're not viable. The reason those parties are not viable isn't because we don't have parties. It's because we don't have a ranked choice voting system. And here's what I keep trying to tell everybody. If you want a viable third, fourth party, you have to have a ranked choice voting system. So for those out there who don't know what a ranked choice voting system is, right now you have whoever gets the most wins, the most percentage, right? I always forget which one's one's a majority and one's a plurality. Anyway, if you have those, what happens is if you got two guys, whoever gets 50.1% wins, period. So if me and Ty have almost the identical things, right? But the difference is he wants to make minimum wage $20 an hour, and I want to make minimum wage $18 an hour, and every one of our other things are the same. And then the other guy that we're running against, Trump, he wants no minimum wage. He wants women to be able to be able to get married at 10 and all these crazy shit. And Ty and I run against each other, and we split the vote because 50% of people like what we have to say. But some people go, Ian's right with the $18 minimum wage. And people are like, yeah, I think Ty's better with the 20 minimum. Now we each get 25%. The guy who wants no minimum wage wins. And I'm like, I think that's obvious. So when people are like, hey, you can't do that because if you really want $20 an hour minimum wage, guess what? 18 is better than 0. So you go with the 18. If I have this much better chance of winning than Ty, you go with me. And then you go, okay, sorry, Ty, you got to drop out. Go with the guy that's going to win because we want 18. And then maybe we can go from 18 to 20, but we can't go backward and go to 0. And if you want it to work, you put in a ranked choice voting where people go, I really want, my number one choice is $20 an hour. That's Ty. But I don't think Ty can win because he's black. So my second choice is Ian. And my third choice is Trump or whatever, or then my dog, and then fourth choice is Trump. So what happens is that allows you to vote for the guy that you want the most, even though you don't think he's going to win. And that happened with Biden. There were so many people I know that were like, I really love Elizabeth Warren. I really love Bernie Sanders, but I'm going to vote for Biden because I don't think Elizabeth Warren can win. And
in the national.
So they voted in the primary for Biden. And then people go, how did Biden win? Well, we voted for him. So my point is, if people really want Ty, but they're like, we don't think Ty can win because he's a black man in America. But they know that if he doesn't get a certain number, that their votes go to me, their second choice, who they almost as much as Ty, they can vote for Ty and put me as number 2. And then if Ty ends up, it turns out 60% of the population's like, holy shit, we like Ty. He's our number 1 choice, but we were afraid to vote for him before. Then guess what? I fall off the ballot. Ty wins. But if it turns out that I was right and America's like, yeah, I'm not ready for a black guy yet, then he falls off the ballot and his votes go to me, and now I get the most to win. But if they only have the choice of either me or Ty, and our vote is lost, then they're going to make the choice to either vote for me, and you're going to go, well, there we go again. Lesser of two evils. The guy we really want, we don't get the guy we really want because everyone's afraid to vote for him. So here we go, another fucking white guy, 2 white guys running. And that's what happens. So my point of all of this is that the only people out there that are advocating ranked choice voting and changing the system are Democrats. So what we have to do is we have to vote for the Joe Bidens and the Kamala Harrises and the people that we think are mediocre or maybe just left of center, because with them, we can get change. If we give them a proper House, a proper Senate, and we vote for the right, and we keep building the left, and we keep getting a little bit more progressive, we can move everyone more progressive, and we can change the system so that it works better for people. If we keep Republicans in power, or keep this where we give a Democrat president, but we vote Republican in the House, so nothing ever gets done, all that happens is things get gerrymandered, and we can never win a fucking election. And we can never vote for who we want to vote for.
It's like having a state-of-the-art faucet, but you put a stopper in the drain, and you're like, why does this water keep piling up? So I understand. By the way, bro, I do understand. And again, you guys, if you guys have any questions for Tyree at all, please, he's here. I understand your frustration with certain things in politics, because I gotta be honest with you, bro, it's exhausting to even think about. I miss the days where all I had to do was worry about a breakdance battle. I miss those things. You know what I'm saying? But I think what Republicans hope happens with us, especially with Black folks and specifically, is they hope that we will get beat down. They hope that we will only listen to the Snoops or the Sexy Reds or the Charlemagnes, and we will fall for the gold shoes and stuff like that. Where, you know what I'm saying? Where we are better than that. And this is why I said, like, I wanted specifically to have you on the show and have people like you on the show, because I want you to take what we're saying here. We want to listen to what you're saying, and we want to take these two conversations and branch out and help people understand not just what's at stake, but also look at what's being done by these, because you should hold, by the way, you should hold your elected officials accountable. You absolutely need to. That's what we need to do. Our vote doesn't come for free. And I think that's the part that frustrates me, because I'm like, I look at the legislation, I look at the promises made, I look at the promises kept. Now, as Ian was saying, that there are certain things that can't get done. And this is my problem with people not understanding politics and how it goes. We don't have emperors. We don't have dictators, at least not yet. We have a three-party system, and there are certain checks and balances for a reason. And we're not being hyperbolic when we say if people vote third party, or if they sit this one out, or if they feel like I'm going to punish. I just saw a video the other day where somebody said, I'm going to punish Joe Biden and I'm not going to vote. And the person laid it out like, how the fuck are you punishing Joe Biden? Joe Biden's going to have health care, Secret Service, and he's still going to be the ones that'll suffer, because Republicans want to make it to where we don't have votes, we don't have health care, and only the rich are rich. And we know this being in the Midwest, and we've seen this when when people don't have money, the people in the neighborhoods suffer the most. We suffer the most, not the people in the gated communities, the people that got guards and shit. So this is why I say you're absolutely right to want more from your politicians. You should, but I think we have to be aware of the big picture in order to fix these other things.
So let me ask you a question. So as someone who feel, as you come to see, I feel when it comes to just feeling taken for granted, gaslit, and kind of played in my face. Say I vote this election, right?
Right.
What can be done, or what should be done to get them to look at us or treat us differently when it comes to, for me, just respect. Just in politics in general, you telling me you don't know if this was the racist country, all that kind of goofy stuff. So I vote this time. I want to see something different. Last two times I voted was because of the fear of the other side. But what can I do? What am I giving them to change or treat me different?
Well, that is okay. It's a valid question. And like, I'll give you a prime example. Yesterday, I saw a story about a lady who had a bookstore in North Carolina. It was North Carolina. She had a mobile bookstore, and then she found a space, and she was selling it in the space. Now she's forced to close it because she was getting threats. She was getting threats, and all she was Black business owner selling Black children's books. That's it.
Yeah, she's getting threats, man.
Right, exactly. So to me, the person threatening her was not Trump. Trump didn't go there specifically and say, get rid of this Black business. It's the people who support Trump. And they're vocal about it because they know that people have not shut people like Trump down. People have not said, we absolutely don't want this type of shit no more. We don't want this anymore. There are people who be like, okay, well, I can kind of see how that can go. Or he gave us a stimulus check, so I can kind of rock with this. Fuck the racist stuff. I just want the stimulus check. And then you have other people that either excuse certain things or they act like it's not that bad. Right. So to answer your question, what we can do is start holding these types of people accountable, not just in a real life setting, because we see videos all the time where people going at Karens and shit like that. I'm talking about sending a clear-cut message to these people and saying, we don't want you, racist. We don't want your ideology. Send these motherfuckers back under the rocks that they came from. Because the reason why they felt comfortable going and threatening that woman is because they see that Trump has a chance to get back in office. The reason why that goofy ass bitch, the fucking student in Indiana, felt comfortable making that video saying, well, and this is all based off Beyonce making a country song, which is weird that these motherfuckers get this angry about shit like that. But right. She goes on and she says, yeah, y'all not country. Y'all might have been in the country, but y'all were being sold. And to see that she was comfortable saying it, she was comfortable saying it because she sees politically that there are people that support that mindset. This is what I mean by the short game ain't gonna work for us. You see what I'm saying? The short game ain't gonna work for us.
Well,
we have to send a clear-cut message and say we won't be fooled by shoes. We won't be fooled by and Sam mentioned earlier, we won't be fooled by no bullshit platinum plan. And we won't be fooled by no rappers going up there talking, because I did a video on this a while back, bro. Snoop, Ice Cube, Killer Mike, all these cats got money. We don't have money like that. So they can sit here and say, oh man, it don't matter who you vote for. Motherfucker, it matters. Because that woman that wanted that business to run, she's finding out that it matters because the neighbor who supports Trump is fucking with her. That student who's supposed to be the future thinks that this is okay. So to answer your question in a really long way, is it has to start with the vote. It has to start with us saying, enough of this. Enough of the bullshit, man. You want my vote? I want to see change. And of these two people, bro, Biden and Trump, one of these people is working towards preserving civil rights, working towards preserving voting rights, working towards empowering Black businesses, Black and brown businesses, gay businesses, trans businesses, all these things. Another person is literally supported by every single hate group in the country. So if we vote for that guy, or if we let that guy get in by sitting this out, it fucks us over, and we don't. So they respect us even less. Look, I mentioned it earlier. Tim Scott got 3%. 3% of support from white people, and he's a Christian. And they thought Trump was better. That dude ain't fucked off every single wife, and they thought he was better. They're sending a clear message on the right that they want that. We have to send a message on our end, and we don't want that.
First off, to be honest, he would have got a little bit more, but Tim Scott voted for Trump himself in that election. So, but I would say a couple things. Number one, the way to really affect change is vote local. You got to vote for your local, the small elections, because those are the people that directly affect your community. You got to vote for your mayors. You got to vote for your city council people. You got to vote for your congressperson, your state senate, your state congressperson. I mean, I'm guilty of, I don't know the fucking judges, but voting local judges when you can vote them in California, you got to vote for a governor. I mean, we are lucky in California that if everything else all goes to shit, we're our own fucking country with our own health care, with our own, we're pretty fucking lucky here because, and it's all left-wing politics here. So, and we've got healthcare. We've got, our gas prices are a little higher and things like that. But so what? We have more jobs. We have so much stuff covered for us. But I would say, so first off, vote local because that's also, those people are going to be the stars of the future. If we really like somebody young who's coming up, we got to get them up. We got to get them here, and then they become mayor, and they become lieutenant governor, they become governor, they become president, they become senator. We have to build them up from the ground up. So that's one way is to affect that, is to vote local. But I would also say, that it's like Ty was saying, it is a long game, and we have to. Sometimes we're voting to keep the shitty people out, and sometimes we're voting to put the best people in. And then the other thing I would say is push. You got to push what everybody I know was amazed about. A lot of my progressive friends were like, they hated Joe Biden. He's a Republican. He's center. He did the 94 crime bill. All this sort of stuff. And then as soon as he got into power, everyone was like, whoa, he's way more progressive than I thought. He did this. He did this. He's more progressive than Obama. He's more progressive than, and he did stuff that Sanders said he wasn't even going to do, because we pushed him. Because we said, yo, Joe Biden, this is what we want from you. We want this, we want this, we want this. And he was like, oh, that's what people want? Let's do it then. So he moved left on a lot of things that he wasn't, people didn't think he was going to move on. But what I would ask you is really quick, I'd like to know, in terms of legislation or in terms of policy, what would you like to see done? Like if there was a specific, because, a lot of the stuff nationally, a lot of it's local. Like, a lot of the stuff is local, but nationally, what do you think laws we could pass that would do what you want? Like if I were going to president and you were going to say, hey, Ian, I want you to do this, this, and this, what specifically would you ask of me? I'm just curious.
You talking on a national level? I mean,
Yeah, like if you could tell Joe Biden tomorrow, I want this, this, and this legislation passed, what would it be?
my most important thing is schools when it comes to public schools. I don't have any kids, but as a public school graduate, that's big with me. And I think as a Black person, like once again, I expect them to do what's good for America. But as a Black person, when it comes to just, I've watched neighborhoods turn over and I watched my own neighborhood disappear. So when it comes to just trying to keep those neighborhoods intact, when it comes to making sure that, or pushing for businesses that can bring tax dollars back into these neighborhoods. Now, speaking from my own experience, I really, to be honest, when it comes to politicians doing things for Black people in general, in specific, I really don't see anything. It's like the American way. Like I said, I saw Nikki Haley argue about America being a racist country. And I say that saying that I don't really expect to go to them and ask for anything specific. Me personally, as an adult who has lived since the 80s, to see them being asked a question and give an intelligent answer when it comes to some of this stuff about Black people and reparations and all that stuff. I really don't believe in I just say I don't believe in asking for reparations. So me personally, I just want to be respected and just being acknowledged when it comes to, a lot of times it seems as if they're just gaslighting us at times when you see them being asked certain questions. I won't answer this question. And it seems as if it's because they're more worried about the white Democrats, how they might feel because of their fear. So just to answer it again, it would be schools, streets and stuff, and trying to keep businesses in these ran down neighborhoods.
That's fair. And you're right with the whole gaslighting, but I think a lot of the gaslighting comes from Republicans when they say, well, like I said, Nikki Haley saying, well, this is not a racist country, even though she changed her name to Nikki Haley as opposed to her Indian name. So we know that it is. And I think what happens sometimes is I think we get caught up in this idea of everything is perfect. This country is far from perfect, but it has the ability to be better than it is. And all of that starts with us holding people accountable, but also staying focused on what's really important. You said schools. That's super important because what you learn at a young age is what you take with you when you get older. It's the attitude you take. It's the knowledge you take with you. This is why they want to take some of these programs out of school. They don't want to teach Black history. They don't want to teach Black inventors. They don't want to teach these Black historians that are literally who shaped and built this country. But
even in my time, with schools used to give more swimming lessons. They used to give driving lessons.
Yes. Yeah. They would teach you how to balance a checkbook. All
right,
that,
yeah,
all that type
of stuff.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that we stay in that mindset of staying focused on what it is you're asking for, but also, bro, we can't fall for the lies or the person saying, I did more for Black people. Don't check though. I did more. Just don't check it though. Because we do that, like I said, one of the most aggravating things is that clip of Sexy Red saying, oh my God, yeah, we need Trump back because he gave us a STEMI. And first of all, both people, that the checks came from Nancy Pelosi and Democrats. They came from Democrats. It didn't come. Trump just put his name on it because he knew it would fool certain people. And so you also got a stimulus check from Biden. But
bigger one.
You see what I'm saying? So to me, I think we have to, they think we're dumb. A lot of these people think we're dumb.
A lot of these people are dumb.
Yeah, but I mean, when Republicans are talking to us, they think we're dumb to fall for names like Platinum Plan, Gold Shoes, or they send out their rappers to talk to us. They don't send out a Michael Eric Dyson to talk to the masses like they should. They don't send out a Roland Martin. They send out people that they think we're just easily entertained. So I think for us, bro, the way we get that respect is to show them that we're smarter than you think we are. We're more focused than you want us to be. And slowly, like I said, it's not a perfect fix, bro. It's not. But let me tell you what's happening right now. They are doing this. Trump, 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 blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, they're taking these other things. They're trying to put people in local government, to Ian's point. They're trying to put these people in local government to where if it comes down to who they're going to choose for, they're going to try and choose for the racists. This is why when we get fooled by somebody over here saying some bullshit that doesn't matter to anything, this is when they install somebody else. They just passed, what was that? Was that in Alabama? I forgot where it was. It's one of these states where they passed a thing to where you cannot hire based off of diversity. This was like about a month ago. And I'm like, in 2024, they were able to pass that or put the bill together at the same fucking time that we have people like Snoop or Ice Cube saying it don't matter who you vote for. That's the type of shit that I'm talking about. And this is why I said, like, so your platform, first of all, tell everybody about your platform and your social media outlet. I want people to be able to go there and see what you speak about in your audience and what you speak to, so we can everybody to benefit from this.
So my platform is theblackport.com. It is centered around the Black business search directory. Any Black business, you can add yourself for free. You can make a profile, but also I have a blog on there too. And it's an open blog where you can ask questions, you can take polls, you can make polls. You know, I'm very pro-Black, and I do understand Black people are coming in all shapes and sizes. So I want to get conversations, even conversations that I might not want to start. I just think pushing those conversations and asking those questions and critically thinking about those things breed different people, I would say. I think a lot of people on left, right, Black or white, I would guess half of us feel like we're stuck on that side, or because that's just the side we are. I'm sure there are some white people on the red side who will want to vote left or don't want to vote for Trump, same way, but just hate Biden so much. So I just want to open up that conversation. Theblackport.com on Instagram and TikTok, and let's just talk about it, man.
What?
Go ahead.
I just want to say too, if education and small business are business are your thing, then again, I would say like we need to decide what I look at the stuff that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done, and I think they are doing that. So I am a little bit interested and confused as to why the thought would be that they aren't doing that. But also when it comes to education is mostly a local and state level thing. So here in California, schools are funded by their local tax. This is why Republicans don't seem to understand. I don't know why why they keep saying it's not racism. Of course it's racist, or it's classist, and classist also equates to racism a lot.
Keep going. I'll be right back.
The way schools are funded in most states, definitely California, is by the local zip code. So the taxes in that zip code fund those schools. So if you are in a poor neighborhood, your school's going to be poor. If you're in a rich neighborhood, your school's going to be rich. So these Republicans that want this voucher thing, they're trying to take money away from the schools so that their kids can go to private religious schools on the public dollar. And their thing is, well, it gives us more choice. No, it actually doesn't. It gives you choice, but it doesn't give us choice. First off, if you want to go to a private religious school, you got to pay for that. That's how that shit works. If you want to take money out of the public school system so your kid can go to a private religious school, sorry, you can go fuck off. Because education is not just about your kid and Mike. It's about everybody's kid. It's not about, well, my kid wants to go to a Christian school. Cool, then you pay for it. But we need to fund the whole our children, our future is real. We need to fund all schools. We need to fund all kids. And we especially need to fund kids in poor areas and in diverse areas. And the thing is, the way to do that is not the current system. The current system, the money comes from the taxes paid in that zip code. So, and then there's some federal funding and whatever, and that gets doled out, but it also gets doled out based on on demographics and things like that. So we need an overhaul. But the only people that are talking about an overhaul are the left. The only ones talking about the overhaul. The people on the right want to do the opposite. They want to take money out of public system. They want to tell you that you can't. They want to take away books. They want to tell people what they can and can't learn, and what they can and can't learn is anything that doesn't make that makes white people uncomfortable. And they're trying to let kids. We already know kids are killing themselves left and right because they being bullied or they don't feel like they can come out and be themselves. They're trying to do more of that. And the only people that are proposing anything decent for schools is the left. That every time a budget comes out, the money that's cut is from education. Every time the right comes out with the budget, they cut money from education, they put it into the military industrial complex, and they give tax cuts to billionaires and corporations. Every time the left comes out with something, they put money back into the arts, they put money back into schools, they put money back into local small businesses. So I'm like, that's what they are doing. So I don't know why. I know you're saying it's just kind of a talking point, but I'm like, I don't know why we think that that's evil. And to say when we say the lesser of two evils, even if we just say it just kind of whatever, we are saying that two are evil. And it's like, and one is less than the other one. This one's less evil. I don't think overhauling our education system is evil. I don't think making sure that kids don't want to kill themselves because they're not allowed to say that they're gay or something is evil. I don't think hiring good teachers is evil. I don't think teaching history is evil. I don't think teaching Black history is evil. I don't think giving.
I think the lesser two evils come from just the overall. Just say, because everything we've been talking about is really on the national level. I think just the overall evil is just that. And I'm not a politician, so maybe I'm speaking from a layman's term, that assumes, what we're going to do in this country and, how to, all the slick stuff we do. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. You have to protect the country. But I think when people say the lesser of two evils, it's that evil part that they know that comes with just government in general. So it's like we don't expect them to do nothing different. So just pick the lesser of two evils. It's not.
But they are vastly different.
But that's the thing when people say we don't. And I think that's also to add to your question of what we can do to be respected is we should expect something different. We should expect them to do something different, which is why I said, if you look at the policies and the legislation that has been passed by this current administration, they significantly help people. They significantly have helped not just Black people, but poor people and middle-class people. Like we can look at you can look at the data points and see how one affects another. And this is why I say, I think the narrative of all government is evil. Hold on, because when we say that, then we already go into it thinking that no one has my best interest at heart. And I don't think that's true. I think, yes, there are politicians that get into it because they want to check and they want the health care and they want the kickbacks. That's very true. But you have lawmakers out there that are literally trying to fight for things to be better. And for some reason, we get lumped into this whole thing of, no, everyone's bad. To go back to your analogy about the abusive relationship, if you have two parents, if you say, well, one parent make sure the homework is done, the kid is fed, blah, blah, but sometimes they drink every blue moon. Another parent is a full-on drug addict. That's a clear difference. It's a clear difference between the two. Both have flaws, but one is clearly dangerous. When you look at the Republican Party versus the Democratic Party, you say, okay, one of these parties has put things forth to help people. And you can we say it all the time, you can look up these people's voting record. You can literally look it up and you can see who voted for health care, who voted for a increased minimum wage, who voted for insulin, who voted for infrastructure, who voted for funding schools, all this type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? You can see this versus the other person that just says, here's some shoes. And I think we have to be smarter. We got to be more diligent. We got to be more focused. And it's exhausting, yes, but we got to. You ever see a movie where it's the 12th round, the motherfuckers getting their ass whooped, and you think, this motherfucker's gonna lose? We got to find something in us to keep fighting through this because they hope we're stupid. They hope we won't pay attention. And because you ever notice this? If you throw points at people, the next thing they'll say is, well, both people bad. That's the next thing they say, because they love to say that, because they say, well, if you say both people, you know who don't say both people are bad? Trump supporters. Trump supporters never say both people are bad. They say only Democrats are bad. We're the only ones. The left and the middle and the center are the only ones say, well, both parties do the same shit. No, they don't.
And I've heard that in the last couple of years, how Democrats don't like to sling dirt like the right side, and that's the reason why some of the times that they lose contests they can win, just because of they won't get in the dirt.
We definitely need to play dirtier, for sure. But Ty,
go ahead.
I was going to say, to use your parent analogy, though, what I feel on the extreme left, or the people that are like the both parties are the same, whatever, is that we're not even talking about a parent that drinks. We're like, well, let's see. The one parent loves you, drives you to school, makes you do your homework, makes you do your chores, get you clothes, does make whatever, gave you a birthday party, whatever. The other one beats you and it does meth and doesn't pay his bills, and you haven't seen him in 6 months. And you're like, both are the same. And you're like, why? You go, because that bitch makes me do my homework. Like,
right.
but that's a good thing. Yeah, I don't like doing my homework. Okay, so you just don't want to do your homework. Let's stop.
I wanted to show this video real quick, but I do know we did want to cover the trial for a little bit, and it's 1 o'clock, so we got to be tight here. But I do want to show this video, and all I want to ask, and especially our guest Tyree today, is that I wanted this conversation to be exactly what it's been, productive, because I want people to understand not only what's at stake, but to understand, just to go look for yourself. You can go look and see what these people have done versus what the other people have done. Like, Republicans say they do this, but actually they don't even put forth legislation. They just complain about what the other side does, which is weird to me that seems to work for some of these people. So I want us to leave this conversation saying, let's go educate people that may not be educated on stuff. Hopefully we learn something from this, and that, because it's going to take that. That's how we're going to beat these motherfuckers. It's going to take education. It's going to take us looking at really what's at stake and what has been done. Because again, you're right. If we were having this conversation and Biden hadn't done a single thing at all, nothing, no jobs, no health care, no infrastructure, no Pell Grants, none of that. And he was just saying, I want to save democracy. Even though I still would believe, yes, we need to save democracy, I wouldn't be able to say, God damn, all he got to run on is fucking democracy. That's not it. We're running on democracy and the legislative accomplishments. $7 billion to HBCUs, that's bananas. The fact that Trump is even able to say he saved HBCUs when you can look at the legislation to see it was there before he got there is bananas. And also
he denied it until someone said, you better do this.
You see what I'm saying?
He tried to veto it.
Yes. So let me show this video. I like this dude's content because he just kind of he lays it out there, but he puts it in perspective where I want people to understand that when people say, well, I'm not going to vote, or I'm going to vote third party, it's just weird to me that people still say this. So here, I want to share this. Hold on. Here we go. Yep. And are we on? We're on. Here we go. I think it's on. Yes. Oh my God. Are they going to make me do this? Select two objects that are the same shape. Jesus Christ. And put me on the spot. All right. Thank you. Here we go. And then all of that.
His ass has fulfilled a lot of the motherfuckers like student loan. Got a question, and I'm a love a response or a stitch, bitch. Okay, stitch this. Okay, so all y'all talking about we about to punish Biden. We about to make Biden pay by not voting for him. How you gonna make him pay? First of all, you gonna be letting his ass off the hook by not being able to fulfill all his campaign promises and not play these damn games and say he hasn't done anything. His ass has fulfilled a lot of the motherfuckers, like student loan debt forgiveness, American Rescue, like infrastructure, like lowering the price of prescription drugs. Let's not do that. Let's not go there. SBA loans to black businesses, blah, 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 blah. Don't play with me, bitch. But anyways, how will you be punishing Biden? Because he'll be a former president if you don't re-elect him, who will be able to collect a check for the rest of his life with Secret Service on taxpayer dime. How will you be making him pay? Didn't y'all think y'all was making Hillary pay in 2016 and then y'all made yourselves pay by losing your reproductive rights? How will you be making people pay? The only person that you'll be making pay is not Hillary, not Biden, not Democrats, because their ass is going to be all right. But you're going to be punishing the marginalized communities like black and brown people, LGBT, trans, disabled, people who are literally living paycheck to motherfucking Sunday, not paycheck to paycheck. Who will you be punishing but people like me? My question is, how do y'all think that this works? Well, I could survive a Trump presidency for 4 more years. Who said it's going to be just 4? Didn't he say he's going to be dictator day 1? What makes you think that they're not going to try to rewrite the Constitution in order to give his ass a longer term? This motherfucker going to try to be there to the day he dies and then pass it on to his damn children. And y'all forget that it's an act of Congress to bring slavery back. So all y'all black asses trying to stand in solidarity with other marginalized communities, my question is, are they going to stand in solidarity while we own the motherfucking plantation picking cotton? Don't play these damn stupid games and get a stupid ass reward, because the same white people saying they got your back will be the same people buying your ass on the plantation.
So I love that dude's content, because sometimes he's a little extra with it sometimes, but his points are so spot on. Because I've been hearing that. I hear people say it now. I hear black people say it. I hear women say it. That's weird to hear women say it. Y'all are losing reproductive. I don't have a vagina, and I'm not trying to have any more kids. So, but I feel like I don't want women to lose their rights. So I have a dog in the fight, in the sense of, if you take their freedoms, eventually you'll come for our freedoms. Eventually, right. You see what I'm saying? So this is why I want people to understand that this is not just about legislation, but the fact that Biden and Harris have gotten legislation passed on top of protecting things is what we need to look at. We can't fall for the bullshit. They're hoping we fall for the bullshit. Because if that dude gets back in, I promise you, Ian, we say this all the time, right? That's it. That's a wrap for America. There's no burning this down to build it back up. There will be no building this back up. It will be done. So I just want to play that.
I was trying to find Trump's Gettysburg Address because it was hilarious, but I can't find it.
Okay. So let's cover that for real quick before we bounce. Day 3, is it day 3 of the trial? It's day 3 of the criminal trial. I just can't believe I'm gonna say this. Day 3 of a criminal trial of a dude who has a chance to get a job back that he was fucked up at. He wasn't even good. What I say is all the time, right? If he cured cancer, maybe I would at least rock with him on that. If he ended world hunger, okay. This motherfucker was horrible and has a chance to get a job back that he got 1 million people killed at, and he's on trial today. What the fuck are we doing, man?
Apparently he Sleepy Don fell asleep again.
This is crazy, bro. This is fucking crazy.
And when it comes to presidential candidates, I am more upset and disappointed in the Republicans, man.
Yeah.
After what happened, I'm very more disappointed in them than anything Democrats could have did.
Yeah. And bro, this is what I'm saying. Like, Obama couldn't have done any of this shit. You know damn well. They still mad at Obama for giving them health care and wearing a tan suit. They still pissed off it. So, like I said, the fact that this dude is on trial, and again, to a bigger picture, which is actually kind of fucked up. This is a picture of America. As we say this all the time, this is a picture of America. The fact that a dude is on trial and leaves trial to go campaign for a job and has a chance to get the job, that's an indictment on us as a country and what we've accepted. Because every other president, we have told them that that's not cool. Shit, Bill Clinton got a blowjob. Republicans still talking about that shit.
Right.
Obama, what do they always talk about with Obama? Drone strikes. Biden, 94 crime bill. And this is white people saying it. Right. I was affected by the 94 crime bill. Bitch, you live in the suburbs. How the fuck did the crime bill affect you? But with this guy, for some reason, they have let a lot of this shit go. And I want people to ask this question, and ask a lot of your viewers, bro, when you on your platform. And I want you to remind everybody before we get out of here, ask them this. If a dude is a dummy, didn't pass any major legislation to help black and brown people, poor middle class people at all, nothing, they can't point to anything, no health care. If he was that bad and got people killed, ask yourself, Why do they want him back in? They didn't even want Nikki Haley. They didn't want Tim Scott. They didn't want Chris Christie. They didn't even want Mike Pence. There's a reason they want that guy back in. And it ain't to help us. I promise you. So, Ian, did you have anything else?
No, man, today's just been a crazy day. I appreciate you coming on and talking about this. And it's just, yeah, you can tell I'm a little bit out of it today, but so is our audience. Unfortunately, it's just been not much in the comments and whatever. But no, man, look, the thing is this, you know, if you want people to do better, you got to push them to get better. You got to be active. You got to vote local. And the thing is, you got to look at put down, what do you want? What are the things I want? All voters should look at this. Oh yeah, Tammy really wants to talk about Carrie Lake saying to bring a clock. Tammy will probably talk about next time. But you have to look at the policies that each side is presenting, and you go, which most align with me? Even if you think that they're lying about it, like I say this all the time. If I say to you, hey man, I'm gonna give you a ride to work, I'm gonna give you some gas money to get home, I'm gonna buy you dinner on the way, and Ty goes, I'm gonna kick you in the dick and throw you in the gutter. And you go, man, Ian's lying about giving me a ride to work and buying me dinner. Well, at least see. It's better than going, you know what? So because I think Ian might be lying about giving me a ride to work and buying me dinner, I'm gonna let Ty kick me in the dick and throw me in the gutter. What? Like, well, Ian's probably lying. Well, let's see. And then if I take you to work and go, hey, man, I can buy you dinner. Oh, here's a hot dog. Shut the fuck up. You can go, wow, he's kind of lying about that dinner thing. But at least I didn't get kicked in the dick and thrown in the gutter. Exactly. Like, I don't know why this is so hard for people. Like, to me, it's like, let's look and see, what are they saying? What are they saying they want? And then we can look at what did they actually do? And we have to vote for that. And that's on us, of course, for not being educated, but it's also on us for not helping educate other people. We have, because people will look at the meme, people will look at the Facebook, the TikTok, the Twitter, the whatever, and go, well, I saw a headline that said this, that said Joe Biden kills black people. Well, we have to be better educated. We have to be diligent in educating people and telling and saying, no, here are the facts. You're wrong about this, and we have to push back. We have to do it in the nicest way we can, which neither Ty and I are good at. We have to push back in the nicest way we can and be like, look, no, these are the facts. You're wrong about this. Educate yourself, because an educated electorate will do the right thing. An uneducated electorate will do the wrong thing every fucking time. And that is why the right tries to keep you uneducated and stupid. That's why Trump said he likes the uneducated.
Fully educated.
Why they're trying to get rid of education in schools. That's why they don't want you reading books. Like I saw a meme the other day. They were talking about how they're trying to get rid of To Kill a Mockingbird, a book about empathy. And a white man in the racist South in the 1920s. Being
I read that in high school.
For a black man, they're trying to get rid of that book, but no one's talking about getting rid of Mein Kampf. No one's talking about. Yeah. So we have to look at their agenda. What are they doing? Why are they trying to dumb people down? Why are they trying to push this racist Christian of white supremacist shit? Why are they doing all that? They're doing that for a reason, because who's pushing the narrative that both parties are the same? It's the right, it's the Russian troll. Why? Because they know that if you go watch A Bug's Life. I mean, it's a Disney movie, but it's all about, look, there's a billion ants and there's like 20 of these fucking grasshoppers who kick their ass every time. And finally they're like, wait, there's a billion of us. We've been laying down to these fucking 20 grasshoppers. There's a billion of us. And that's numbers. But when the minority keeps telling you it doesn't matter, it's the Republicans that are saying both sides are the same. It's the memes from the Russian troll farms that are saying, oh, you don't need to vote. Your vote doesn't count. Vote third party. They do that because that's how the minority stays in power. And we can't fall for the banana in the fucking tailpipe.
And that's to your point, Tyree, of what we can do to gain respect is to show them that we're smarter than they think we are. And to show them that, okay, all right, we can do both. We can still demand this and say, this is what we want as a community, but this is what we want as a country. And I love that you started the show by saying that you being a black man, but also an American. So that's important. A lot of people need to understand that.
You got to go, Ty. I want to put this out really quick. Tammy put this in the comments. So anybody who's listening to this on not on YouTube, on Facebook, go to facebook.com/critical and thinking. Watch this video. At the bottom here, Tammy puts in that there's a vote411.org or a Ballotpedia, and it will determine your local elections. And she goes, you deserve the consequences. Go there, find out who you're voting for, when are the elections, vote for those local elections, vote for the national elections, read and find out what the things are that you're voting for. And if you don't understand it, don't click a box. That happens a lot of times too, or say it looks like one thing, it says, and like it happened with the Uber stuff, right? Where it's like Uber's not gonna pay for your
Healthcare, was it?
healthcare, right? And then it's like, well, no, Uber is gonna pay for your healthcare. And it was so confusing, and everyone voted for the wrong one. They're like, I'm supporting the Uber workers. And I was like, no, you're not. You're voting the wrong way. No, it says here, I'm supporting the Uber workers. And then that one got voted in and they lost all their fucking rights. Everyone was like, what I voted for? No, you voted for the wrong thing.
Again, this is what it comes down to, the education. Tyree, tell everybody where they can find you again. I want people to check them out. And let me thank you, first of all, again.
Thanks for coming on
the show, bro. Really appreciate this. And these are the conversations we're going to try and do more of, you guys, between now and November. Like we said, we're going to go hard in the paint to November. We're going to see how this go. But thank you again for coming on, bro, and sharing your thoughts. And hopefully we helped each other out in all of this. Tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, for one, I appreciate you reaching out to me, man.
No doubt.
TheBlackPort.com on the internet. The Blackport LLC on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook.
That's what's up.
You can reach out to me at one, and we can connect on the other ones. If you want to put your Black business on my directory, hit me up. And when it comes to this election, man, no matter if you feel like me or any of these other guys, take it a step further, man. Think and read. Do not let your information come off that first page of TV or the phone. So if you pick somebody I don't like, as long as you read it, if you voted, I'm cool with that.
That's what's up. All right, you guys, thank you to everybody that was rocking with us. Appreciate you all. I got to be super quick out today because I got to bounce. Thank you, everybody. Vote. Empathy matters. Focus. It matters. Education matters. We cannot let the bad guys win. They hoping that we stupid. They hoping that we tired. They hoping that we don't give a fuck. Let's show these evil bastards that we are none of that and that we will fight hard for what we built, for what we earned, and what we fucking deserve. Critical and Thinking Podcast. Ty Barnett.
Ian Harris. We'll see you guys. Thanks again.
Peace.
Tyree's coming on. Appreciate it.